We have 6 incredible people who were held hostage by various countries, and I'm very pleased to let everybody know that we brought back over 50 hostages from 22 different countries. We're very proud of the job we did, but I'd like to ask maybe Pastor Brunson to say a few words so we can go through and just give us a little history of what happened and how is life treating you.
I was held in Turkey.
Today, 50-year-old Pastor Andrew Brunson was released from Turkish custody, and the U.S.-Turkey relationship was released from its most serious point of contention. Brunson left the courthouse in a convoy after being convicted on terrorism charges and was set free on time served. He spent 2 years in custody and recently became a media sensation as he went between court and house arrest. The charges against him blocked all other progress on U.S.-Turkish relations and became the main irritant between Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the U.S.
Release Pastor Andrew Brunson now, or be prepared to face the consequences.
From July to yesterday, Vice President Mike Pence and the administration maintained pressure on Turkey with sanctions and public statements.
We will continue to stand strong until Pastor Andrew Brunson is free.
Today, President Trump tweeted in all caps, "Pastor Brunson just released, will be home soon," unfreezing the Turkey-U.S. relationship, says Washington Institute for Near East Policy senior fellow Soner Çapte.
U.S.-Turkish relations hit an all-time low when President Trump slapped sanctions against Turkey because Turkey kept detaining U.S. Pastor Brunson in jail there. And Erdogan decided that it was time for him to turn the relationship around, primarily because he needs U.S. assistance also to push back another front against Saudi Arabia.
Joey, have you ever been in a Turkish prison?
What did they say to you in terms of why you were being held? Because I know that's a question. People say, well, this guy's a missionary. Was that your missionary activities, or what were they saying to you?
They knew all that we were doing because we did it openly for 23 years. We didn't hide what we did, and it was not illegal. But they accused me of many different things. They knew that I was innocent, so this was coming from the very top of the government. And I think they arrested me to intimidate other people, to intimidate other missionaries, to intimidate local Christians, Turks. And then it became something political over time where they wanted to use me to gain concessions from the U.S. So the reasons they gave were not really the reasons they were holding me, but they said that I was a terrorist, that I was a military spy, that I had helped to plan and orchestrate an attempted coup. They were all lies, but they were used as propaganda to paint Christians as being traitors and haters of Turks, which is not at all the case. We don't hate Turks, we love Turks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
Mr. President, thank you for having me. My name is Sam Goodwin. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I was held in Syria.
His mission was simple. Sam Goodwin would not return home until he'd visited every country in the world. And there were apparently no exceptions, not even Syria, where the bloody, seemingly intractable civil war has killed an estimated 500,000 people in the last 8 years. Unable to get an official visa, the 30-year-old entered the country through a Kurdish-controlled checkpoint in the northeast, reportedly wandered the streets without a guide, and was eventually picked up by Syrian government forces.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
He was convicted of illegal entry and spent more than 2 months in custody.
You and your allies, the Zionists, the only responsible of the killing of the...
Goodwin's detention inside Syria was not widely known. His surprise release yesterday was secured with the help of a Lebanese general who negotiated with the Syrian government on behalf of his family. Goodwin was reunited with his parents overseas. We are forever indebted to Lebanese General Abbas Ibrahim and to all others who helped secure the release of our son, they said in a statement.
Yay! My name is Michael White, Mr. President. I do, once again, it's an honor to be here, honor to meet you in person. Basically, what had happened with me is I traveled over to the country of Iran.
A free man, Michael White, arrived in Zurich on his way home to the United States. The U.S. Navy veteran had been held by Iran for almost 2 years.
I do want to extend my personal thanks to President Trump for his efforts, both diplomatically and otherwise. It's making America great again, and I look forward to what's going to happen here in the future.
White was released as part of a deal that saw Washington free American-Iranian scientist Cyrus Asghari, who's now back in Tehran. President Trump spoke to White once he'd landed in Switzerland and tweeted his thanks to Iran, saying it was proof a deal was possible with Tehran. Trump pulled out of the Iran nuclear accord and imposed crippling economic sanctions. He says he wants to negotiate a new deal. Tensions hit crisis point in January when a U.S. airstrike killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani near Baghdad International Airport. The prisoner swap is a rare example of cooperation between Tehran and Washington, but deep divisions remain.
What happens? Well, I have been to Iran several times before, and I'd been involved with a girl named Samaneh Abbasi. She's my, how would you say, absentee fiance. We'd met online in Yahoo chat room in 2012, developed a relationship. Eventually we discussed maybe getting together, actually meeting at some point in the future. Because we really developed a strong emotional bonds, love, all that sort of thing. 2014, Kish Island, came back again 2015. We were going to try to get married, but paperwork problems and the government run sort of got in our way. And we'd been out of contact for a little while, and then she got back in contact with me around December 2017. And we started discussing meeting again. She said she wanted to give me a second chance, another chance to prove myself and stuff. And so, unfortunately, I was going through cancer treatment at that time, so I couldn't go right then. But as that process went along, she indicated she wanted me to come there, meet with her, discuss our relationship, fix it, hopefully to travel to Ankara, Turkey to get married.
It's a trap!
Were you tortured? In the intel jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you care to give us any details about that at all?
Well, at this point, I'm going to hold off on
Okay.
that, but in the future I will. But yeah, I underwent torture, physical assault, sexual
Yeah.
assault, isolation, deprivation of food and water,
Yeah.
various things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, my name's Josh Holt. This is my wife, Thamy.
Yes.
We were held hostage in Venezuela for 2 years.
I know very well.
Holt was detained after the Venezuelan police accused him and his new Venezuelan wife of dealing weapons and plotting to undermine the government. Holt says he endured inhumane conditions, leaving family members desperate.
My baby boy, what are they doing to him?
And they put me in a cell that was no bigger than what a twin bed would be.
Yeah.
They had covered the door with a plastic bag, so I wasn't getting very much air. It was super, super hot. So I was literally just laying on the ground, just in my underwear and just sweating as cockroaches are crawling all over me. They never took me out of to go to the bathroom. So if you had to use the bathroom, you either had a bottle or a newspaper. You could just choose.
And what was happening to your wife was worse. So what was happening with Thamy?
Yeah, so she was just in a cell with 23 women, not very big.
Was she hurt?
They did. They actually, so they were trying to get her to go against me. So while they were trying to fill out paperwork to get her to sign things saying that I was a bad person, this type of stuff, and she didn't want to do it because she knew it was all fake. So they actually started to put her fingers into pencil sharpeners to take off her nails, scare her. They tried to scare her with tasers. I need help. So they've taken the entire prison where I'm at. The people have taken the entire prison. They're outside. They're trying to break in. They're saying that they want to kill me. They're saying that they want me as their guarantee.
Pasa lo que pasa en el SEBIN, que un grupo de delincuentes de allá adentro se puso violento entre ellos. Se activó la embajada norteamericana inmediatamente por un gringo que es un espía. Es el jefe de espionaje de los Estados Unidos en Latinoamérica y está preso, y bien preso está. Se fue el señor encargado de negocios de Estados Unidos para la Cancillería venezolana a montar su show. No fue solo, se llevó un montón de periodistas a montar su show porque hay que atenderlo porque es el encargado de negocios de Estados Unidos.
You guys are in the room together, and you can see it. There's a hug that happens here in this moment that almost never ends. Lori, what did that feel like, that moment?
He was finally back in my arms.
You had your baby home.
I didn't want to let him go.
Are you crying? What's that? Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying. It's okay to cry. People cry. It's great, but I'm not crying. I'm not a crier. I don't cry. I work out. I have hobbies. I don't. Come here.
I'm Bryan Nerren. Spent an unexpected trip there in India. I was not going to India. I was going through India to Nepal, where I've been working for the last 18 years.
They've been side by side for more than 40 years.
Oh, yes, we have.
That was until her husband, Pastor Bryan Nerren, traveled to India last October.
He left what we thought was just a routine mission trip. He'd be back in 2 weeks and, no big deal.
Instead, he was arrested on a charge of failing to declare money he took with him to do missionary work. Since then, he was put on house arrest in India, his passport taken away.
Through all of this, the country was shut down. The whole country, India, everything was shut down. No court, nothing.
Finally, after months of waiting, this message gave her the relief she prayed for.
All of the charges that India had against me have been dropped. They have returned to me my passport, and I'm in the process now of coming home.
Soon, this husband and wife will be back where they belong, together, side by side again.
Oh, my. I can't even put it into words. I have cried and prayed for 7.5 months and asked God to give us this miracle, and He has.
Yeah, for the last 18 years, I traveled to Nepal twice a year. We do a project there where we teach teachers to teach children. I was on the way there through India. We were going to stop in Northeast India to visit a friend who was having a celebration, and then across the border to do the work we always do in Nepal.
And what went wrong in India? What happened there?
We went through the proper procedures, and it's a disclaimer I need to put in the front of everything. I never broke any rules. I never broke any laws. I never did anything illegal. And even the judge, after 7.5 months, says, we're sorry for the problems and the inconveniences. You're free to come back to India next year with no strings attached, no problem.
Inconveniences?
That's what they call 7.5 months of my life.
7.5 months being detained. So it's not like 7.5 months vacation.
Not at all. The first 3 months, which was like through a civil court adjudication, they call it, they worked very hard, and the guy that was doing the prosecuting and putting this stuff together told me, we've been ordered by the central government of India to put you in prison for 3 to 5 years on a conversion charge. And I said, but I've never converted anybody, never baptized anybody in India. I've never done anything with that. And he says, doesn't matter about the facts. We have been ordered by the central government to make an example of you, and we're going to.
So conversion charge meant converting somebody to Christianity.
Yeah, there are certain places in India, not all places, but certain places in India where you're legally not allowed to convert anybody from Hinduism. It's supposed to work for everybody, but it's just about Hinduism. So you can't convert, a Muslim or a Hindu to Christianity or vice versa.
All right.
मुझे लगता है कि हम दोनों को बात करने दीजिए, हम दोनों बात करते रहेंगे, जब जरूरत पड़ेगी आप लोगों को जरूर जानकारी पहुंचाएंगे.
We actually speak very good English, we just don't want to talk.
We're going to send a message to American Christians and missionaries, stay out of India. But I want to say something here that I don't want to be misunderstood. As far as I know, there's 6 people in India that hate me, and the other billion plus like me. India is full of really great people.
Of course.
There are great Hindu people, there are great Muslim people, there are great Christian people. I did not know a lot of them. I know a lot of them now.
Yes.
Because they invited me to stay such a long time in their country.
And you wouldn't have gone for 17 years to do this work there if you didn't care about people.
Exactly right. We go because we love children.
Right.
We went with a dream. We went with a vision years ago. But we realized that what God led us to do there worked. As we watched the poorest of poor children in the lowest caste get a public education, we've helped some other groups that we've got to help them go to college, and they become nurses, doctors, prominent people in their culture, in their society, because we gave them a chance. That's all they ever needed.
Right.
God had already given them the talents and abilities.
Sure.
They just needed a break, and their government, because it's Hindu-driven, just refuses to allow poor people to have a chance.
Yeah, because of the caste system, which you called it, and rightfully so, kind of whatever lot that you're born into, that's what they believe that you stay into. You don't get to, like in America, if you're born into poverty, you can get an education, get a job. You can even be a great entrepreneur without an education, and you can improve your lot in life.
Yes.
But in India, that is not the thought process.
Yeah,
that
India
is
or
not what
Nepal.
happens.
India and Nepal are both Hindu-driven governments. And there's just small factions of the government that feel that way. Unfortunately, they're in charge of the...
Right. And they were the people that were interrogating you and